a brother and sister in the city using their artistic talent to help capture the essence of one of the city's most iconic neighborhoods. It's called Uptown Voices and Uptown Story. The project will document Harlem's history through intimate, large format portraits paired with oral histories of residents who have lived in the neighborhood for 30 years or more. The project has just launched an open call for nominations. New Yorkers are invited to put forward family, friends, and neighbors whose Harlem stories should be preserved. Joining us now, yes, the man and the woman behind the project, Joyous Pierce. She's an artist, curator, and cultural producer, and her brother, Will Pierce. He's a photographer and curator. Great to have both of you with us this morning to talk about this amazing project. We love talking about Harlem, first of all. Joyce, we'll start with you. Let's talk about a little about the inspiration behind all this. There was a family connection here while you decided to put this all together.
Absolutely. Our father was a photographer, and Will followed in his footsteps. But in the spirit of keeping our family history and our community history, and after a conversation that Will actually had with our father, he decided to, embark on capturing these stories from the community. Yeah.
Well, talk to us a little bit about that. You've just started the process of taking the portraits and talking to some of the residents, your dad being the first one. So what do you anticipate to hear? What would you like to hear from some of these longtime residents that perhaps we haven't heard before about Harlem?
Well, thanks for asking, Rocco. I would like to hear their stories, their truth, and for them to be represented in their own words. It's particularly about a lot of, as you know, New York is changing, and especially Harlem. So it's more about preserving their stories and the Harlem that they know, their favorite places to go to eat, their favorite, dance halls, and a lot of places that maybe aren't there, so people can connect with the past.
That oral history is important, right? Because you'll actually get to hear from their voices. We've read so much about Harlem, we've seen so much about it, but to actually hear the voices of people who have lived through so many of the changes of the neighborhood. Tell me about that.
Yeah, well, Will likes to call himself a griot, which is rooted in the West African history of storytellers and history keepers of the community. And part of that that's deeply rooted is sound, but oral history specifically. So building on the long legacy of folks like Rocco Vertucci and other photographers that have taken that visual representation, we're combining that now with the oral histories as well to kind of like build out the narrative and the story of and the lives of the people in the community.
You both are so artistically talented. Tell me about using that to do something like this that will really have an impact on this area.
Well, I think having the oral stories combined with the imagery will help uplift and preserve these stories and the legacy of Harlem as we go through the changes that it's gone through. So I think it's really important to do it in this way so that hopefully this is a project that can be ongoing and kind of live past me.
So you've just started the open call, you've started a few portraits. I want to show an example of some of your work because it's really quite amazing. You do all kinds of different portraits. Talk to me again about sort of incorporating this into the project. You'll see the actual faces, of course, and then of course paired up with the voices. What do you look for when you're taking a portrait?
So I feel like a portrait session is like a conversation, really. It's more about speaking to the person, getting to know this person, building a rapport within that moment, and then capturing that in time and hopefully conveying it to the audience or anybody who's looking at it.
And I know you just started. What has been the response so far with the few people that you've started talking to?
It's been really positive. Like I said, the first person I started with was my father, and it was an opportunity for me to learn more about things about his upcoming and his upbringing that I didn't even know after so many years.
This is all going to come together in a big immersive exhibit eventually, so tell me about that.
Yeah, so it's actually twofold. The first part of the exhibition will be inside of a gallery space where a number of the larger-than-life portraits that we'll be taking will be displayed, literally large scale, as well as the oral histories playing and accessible via QR code. And then we'll also be doing a public portrait pop-up on an abandoned building in Harlem where we'll actually be projecting the images of the portraits and inviting the community out to see themselves large scale in the streets.
That is amazing. I'm going to wrap up with, what do you hope people get out of this who come eventually to see and hear this exhibit about Harlem?
Well, I hope people are able to see themselves and to be seen and understand their importance in this city and in this world, and that all these stories are important. So no matter how big or small it is, like I want to capture that and preserve.
Going to put up your website information because you want people to bring people forward who may want to take part in this. Again, they have to live in the neighborhood at least 30 years. So you want some of the people who've been there a while, willpierce.com. And again, check out those portraits. They're amazing. The two of you are amazing, Joyous and Will Pierce. A pleasure to have you with us this morning. Best of luck with the project. Can't wait to see it once it's complete.
Thank you, Rocco.
Thank you so much.